Tonight, Room with the Beard, Mike swings by and we discuss our top 10 games released in 2022. Stick around, it's going to be fantastic.
The best part about the box is you just happen to have a giant question mark laying around that you can use stencil.
No, I made it. Good evening, Michael. Thanks for joining me.
Good evening, Eric. Thanks for having me.
We're going to discuss our favorite games that were released in 2022.
It was an exceptional year of gaming.
It really was one heck of a year for games. It was quite difficult whittling down that list of 33 games that I played that were released in 22 down to 10.
It was much easier for me because I'd only played 27. So, far easier than 33.
Yes, but after I made the list, I played a few games that possibly with more plays would have made my list, such as Wayfarers and Sky Mines. So, they're not on my list.
You know,
spoiler alert.
This is actually, we're kind of late getting this list out. I think we were late getting the list out like last year as well. But I made a list. I lost a list. But then I played some more games from 2022 after I lost a list that ended up making my list.
So it was fate, basically. That
clearly fate.
Clearly.
Yes.
Number 10.
All right, my number 10 actually surprised me. When I was going through the list, we played this game early in 2022, and it is a reprint, reskin, if you will. Slightly different rules.
So you can do that, but I can't do a 15-year anniversary?
Ticket to Ride 15th anniversary was Ticket to Ride with the number 15 on the box.
This and is bigger cards, full-size cards.
This game is a reskin with a slightly different name. But I was surprised how much this game really was a lot of fun. I don't know if you should call it character selection, simultaneous play, maybe a little take-thatty. It is a Stonemaier game. Any guesses? No guesses?
No guess. Yes,
Too late. Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest, which is not just a complete ripoff of Libertalia that came out in, I think, 2012. But I like this version better. I really love the art on it. It was just a lot of fun. The components are really great. The little cubes, almost as Zool-like pieces.
Yes, those are the best pieces. They sound great, too.
Yeah, it's just really great. And I like how over the course of the game, everybody starts with basically the exact same hand of characters and cards. And then as the game progresses, your hand starts to change a little bit based on what you played in the previous rounds, and everybody starts having slightly different hands. But it's just a lot of fun.
You said you like the art. How do you feel about the anamorphic people?
I like animal people.
You do?
I do.
Animal
I
people?
I like Everdale. I like animal people.
How much do you like animal people?
I love animal people. Furry animal people. Doing human-like jobs. My favorite. Mm-hmm. Yes. So that's my number 10. I believe it's probably my only Stonemaier game on the list this year. Libertalia.
Don't they usually only release like
one year?
Did Rolling Realms come out last year?
I don't know. Maybe I have every Stonemaier game from 2022 on my list. I don't know, but this is the only one that I can think of off the top of my head. So
it's a good one.
Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest.
My number 10 is a game that's kind of broken up into different phases. The first half is kind of a pressure luck, and then the next half is kind of a skating around town collecting sets and stuff. Almost kind of like El Dorado a little bit. In that you have to play cards to move on to different colored spots.
I feel like I have an idea what this game is, but it's just skating by me.
Good one. Skate Summer by Pandasaurus Games. Randy Ryman, sorry for butchering that. I am not familiar with any other of his designs.
No,
and I would be fine if this game just had the first half, which the first half is basically Tony Hawk, the board game, where you're doing the manuals in the video game, and you're just trying to play cards to balance yourself left and right. But as the stakes get higher, you're rolling more dice that can change your balance one way or the other. And that part of the game, I absolutely adore. It's so much fun.
The balancing your skateboard you like better than skating around the city?
Yeah, I feel like the skating around the city it's fine. It's okay. I feel like that's kind of just like the cherry on top of this wonderful Sunday.
This was close to making my list, but I really agree with that. I enjoy the push your luck, bouncing back and forth through your skateboard, try not to fall off. Because if you do fall off your skateboard, it is detrimental. Like, it is almost hard to overcome if you fall off your skateboard one time.
I would say late game it is. You don't want to, because early on if you fall off, you're only missing a couple points.
Yeah, and the skating around the city I felt was okay. I didn't like how you could ramp around and bounce around and take giant, I don't know.
That was my favorite part.
But it's a good game. I do enjoy it. It would be an honorable mention for me as well.
Skate Summer. Number 9.
All right, my number 9. This game it is a spin on the classic euchre game. If euchre cards were all bleached completely out.
I think I know what it is.
And it kind of takes into play, what is it, Schroeder's principle or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Is the cat alive or is the cat dead? I don't know. The cat's in a box. I really enjoy this game. I'm not even going to try to say the designer's name because it is not English.
Not your native tongue.
Yes. But this is a take on the classic euchre game, and as a kid growing up, euchre was the cat's meow around my house. But I really did enjoy this. I wasn't sure how it would work, and you wouldn't think that it would work. Playing a trick-taking game where all of the cards are white. You decide which colors they are as you're playing them, but it is really, really fun. It's really well done. It plays up to 5. I don't think I'd want to play it with less than probably 4, maybe 3.
3's okay.
But it is really, really enjoyable. Cat in the Box.
My number 9 is a game designed by John D. Clare, same designer as Mystic Vale and Space Base. Any guesses? Do you care to bet on what this is?
I don't think I'm ready.
It's ready, set, bet. This game, I was completely against really even trying the game with the app, or when I heard that it's not. You don't have to have the app, but I will say it's an app based.
I feel like
it really is. But with that being said, this game is so much fun. It's almost more of, I want to say it's more of an event than it is a game. You get enough rowdy people around the table, just play some bets on these horses, and having a laptop there or a tablet or your phone doing the races, basically someone simulating dice rolls, moving horses along a track. It is a lot of chaotic fun. It's a good time. Pretty much anyone I've taught it to as well picks it up after one race. And it's just a good old rowdy time.
It is a lot of fun. It is chaos.
It's not much to look at.
It's okay. I feel like the app is definitely a necessity. The app is very well done. It does a great job of moderating the game. I would like to try it sometime with a human rolling the dice. If you get the right, I feel like if you get the right person who's really just into it and just calling the horses out, I think that could be really fun too. I'm not that person. So
allegedly, I hear Tom Vassel's that person.
I hear Tom is definitely that person.
Number 8.
All right, my number 8 game this year is a game that actually typically not usually one of my favorite genres of games, but definitely, I would say Days of Wonder is back. But this is definitely, a Days of Wonder production. Components are great. I can see tons of potential for expansions. Any guesses? It's a fast one.
Well, it wouldn't fit in the box.
It is too fat for our secret box. But Heat, Pedal to the Metal. This game, they did a really great job with the racing aspect and the shifting the gears and gathering the heat, which is kind of strange.
It's like a bizarre resource that you don't want, but you need, but you want it, but you don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I really liked it. I feel like this game got a lot more love for other people, probably just because I'm not typically the biggest race fan, and I'm not very good at it. My car spins out, and I'm not very good. But it is fun, and there is potential. I can see lots of different maps There are you can buy your own cars and upgrade them, things like that. So it's a great game.
It is.
Pedal to metal. Vroom, vroom.
My number 8 is a game that almost feels like a reverse version of Ticket to Ride.
Destroying trains?
Yeah, instead of like building outwards, you're building inwards from, I don't know, all roads lead to Rome. Caesar's Empire! The simplicity of this game, and largely just the simplicity of this game, and that it plays 5 players moderately fast. And I like just the overall aesthetic of it all. I feel it's a solid game, and it throws in this little mixture of set collecting. So basically, there's Rome in the middle, and you branch off of that. But you're connecting these cities, and you score points for your trail, track, army, whatever, but also everyone else that is in that chain working its way back to Rome scores. It's just a very simple, clever twist, I feel, on Ticket to Ride without set collecting. So there's still a lot of, in my opinion, turn angst as you're, kind of staring at the board thinking, I really need to get that one pottery thing for my set collecting on my player mat, hoping that you don't go there, thinking there's no reason for you to go there because you're not gonna, I built this trail of my guys, so you're gonna give me a ton of points, so it's kind of a win-win. But you do go there and you take that pot that I wanted, and then my whole world comes crashing down. Anywho, Caesar's Empire, I feel it's a very solid, probably going to get overlooked by most people game, and it says 30 to 60 minutes on there. I think I would probably hang myself if a game of this took 60 minutes. I feel it's really a 15 to 30 minute game. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That is fantastic. But, I feel like 60 minutes, man, that must be with 5 people who've never played before. Yeah. Even then.
It's a very short game, but it is a lot of fun.
Fulfilling.
Yeah. I think people may overlook it just because I don't know. The front of the box looks very family weight, and I would say this is definitely a very family weight game.
Yes.
But I think if you looked at the back, it doesn't. You think it looks like dudes on a map kind of game, versus what it really is, which is a reverse Ticket to Ride, apparently.
Number 7.
Did you put the game in there?
There is no game.
Because we don't have a copy of it.
No.
I'll put it in post.
Yeah, it's gonna be a super reveal. All right, my number 7. This is a game published by Pegasus Spiel, designed by Gabrielle Asualo and Virginia Geely. I apologize if I butchered your names. This is I don't know what you really call this. Set collection. You're collecting items. You're trying to build a rocket ship to get to the moon.
Out of cans and baking soda or something?
Yes!
Yeah.
You're trying to become
it's very cute.
A ratternaut. My number 7 is First Rat, a game which neither of us actually own, but we had a chance to play this at the Dice Tower Retreat last year, and I really, really like this game. It hits all the spots for me. You're moving your little rats along the board. You can move a set number of spaces. If you move one rat, or if you move 2 rats, they can move less spaces as long as they land on the same type of space. You're collecting cheese and baking soda and cans, and you're trying to gather sets to build pieces of a rocket ship to become a ratternaut and send your person to space. And you have, it is a race game as well. So you're trying to race to the top. You get more points with the bottle caps you can collect at the top of the board. You're trying to get your rats to space, and you also have the part on the bottom where you're moving the rats around inside the little tunnels or whatever, where you can get more rats to get on the top of the board. And I don't know, it's just cute, and I thought it was just super enjoyable, and I really, really liked First Rat.
I also enjoyed it until about, I think it was 2/3 of the way through, and I realized, and it's on me, that I made some very poor early game decisions, and there was no catching up for me. There's not much of a rubber band mechanism in this game. I feel that if you don't know how to play, or just are a total turd like myself and make really bad decisions.
I don't remember what you did so poorly. Was it just
points?
Yeah, mostly points. Mostly points.
My number 7 is a card drafting game when you boil it down to it. Fantastic components. borderline overproduced, but I'm also a sucker for that kind of stuff. Fantastic art. It's just a beautiful game.
Card drafting?
Yes, you've played it. I don't know if you have played my copy, though. It's Striking Through Time! History! Whatever. This game, I can't think of very many games that... I feel like this is almost the perfect gateway game.
You think so?
I do.
I
do. It's educational. It looks beautiful. It has easy to grasp yet different mechanisms that not a lot of games have in them. I mean, it doesn't do anything extraordinarily different than anything else. But, you know, there's the drafting the cards where you get the resources on the bottom, but also get the resources that are on the mat. So you kind of have to balance those two things. And then there's the time that you spend, you know, so you can just maybe take a card that you don't necessarily want as much that has a less time requirement, so you can get 2 turns in a row, stuff like that. I feel like, and it's gone over well with players that are less familiar with board games that I've shown, and they just think it is the cat's meow.
I mean, I think it's a fine game.
Fine.
It's a fine game. I don't know if I'd call it educational. I guess it could be educational, but I don't know if anybody's reading the cards as they're playing them. All they're looking for is what year that card is and how it fits in their tableau.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, there's a few things I've learned. The one that like sticks in my mind is
what did you learn?
Napoleon. Napoleon was actually measured using French inches, and at that time, the French inch was larger than the American inch. So Napoleon was actually he wasn't 5'2". He was more average height.
Which is what?
Close to 5'8" or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, that's,
I mean,
you can learn it if it's in. If
those
it's in
French
this box,
inches, man.
They'll get you.
That's what.
We'll save those jokes for
Yeah.
the after hours show. Leave a comment down below about the
French inches.
French inches.
I know what my problem is.
Yeah.
It's been French this whole time.
Honey, that must be a French ruler. She's quite the French stickler.
Number 6.
All right, my number 6 is my only polyomino, I believe.
Did you know that Tetris, I never thought about this, but the word tetra meaning 4, that's where they got the name Tetris from.
You don't know that?
You can learn so much from watching our videos.
But the Tetris pieces weren't all 4.
Yeah.
They're all 4.
All of them are 4 spaces. Even the long rod, just 4 in a
The
row.
long rod is definitely
The
4.
T is a 4 shape. The S boy is a 4 shape. The L 4 shape.
I had no idea.
Yep.
Well, this game is a polyomino game, not a tetraomino game, because the pieces are not all 4 spaces big. This is my only polyomino game on my top 10 list this year. It is really good. Published by Adam's Apple Games. I don't know if I've played anything else from Adam's Apple Games, but they really nailed
Never
this
even
one.
heard of them until this.
And you probably, I want to say this game made my top 10 list for one reason more than anything else. 2 words: Lazy Susan.
Mm-hmm. She is a lazy old Betty.
Planet Unknown. This game is just a great polyomino game. It's not perfect. I do have some issues with it. I'm not a big fan of the asymmetrical player boards. I think some of the planets, the rules, they're a little confusing. But just the basic, regular, standard player boards, like your first game or whatever, are excellent. But you're essentially you have your Lazy Susan. You're rotating that thing around, picking up polyomino pieces, and wherever the Lazy Susan stops in front of you when it's not your turn, forces. You have one of 2 choices of what you can take to place on your board. And you're just covering up. You're trying to, gather water. You're driving a little rover all over your planet surface, trying to gather up asteroids. And you're just trying to build out your planet. And there's tracks.
There's tracks.
Any game with tracks on tracks is great. But this one is just a lot of fun. Just grabbing those pieces, building out your little surface of your planet, driving your rover around, picking up asteroids or whatever you do with asteroids, just run them over and they go out.
Yeah, I think you
or
just
something.
run them over and collect them.
But it's just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. Planet Unknown.
And it plays well at 6.
I've never played it at 6.
You haven't? Pretty sure you have. Thought we played it at 6.
Maybe we did play it at 6.
My only complaint though is the components pretty nice. Why didn't they give you a lid for the Lazy Susan?
Like I said,
mess in there.
Like I said, the game has some issues,
I
but
guess
it's
that's what
really fun.
It is, and I guess that's what I get for storing my games vertically.
You should mix it up, some horizontal, some vertical. That's what I do. It looks so much nicer than just all. What is this, a library?
My number 6 caught my eye largely because of the Vincent Dutray artwork, and it's a polyomino game, and it's Thunderworks, who I've become a pretty big fan of. Thunderworks, their role player series and stuff is pretty rad. I think I actually have a Thunderworks pin on my hat, perhaps. Yeah?
I have no idea if that's the Thunderworks logo or not.
Anywho, my number 6 is Tenpenny Parks. This game is really pretty. It has a neat little kind of card drafting situation again. Apparently, I really enjoy pretty in card drafting games.
I like card drafting.
So you draft these cards, which will then give you a matching polyomino piece, and you put it on your own little theme park. You're building your own theme park. Sometimes you got to chop down some trees and stuff to make room. So it's kind of a worker placement version of a card drafting, because you can place your workers to draft the cards, but you also have to get money, and you can spend money on advertising. And thematically, it's kind of funny too, because you could have a successful theme park that's just dangerous and horrible, but because you spent enough on advertising, you just get a ton of clientele. But have you played this one?
I have, yes.
Yes, I like it. It's good.
It's good. Yeah, it's fun.
Number 6.
It's better than the 5 penny park.
Yes.
It's like twice as good.
It's
as
twice
the 5
as
penny
good.
park.
Number 5.
It does fit. It does fit. It's because of the French measurements.
A French yardstick. It's like 5 feet long. Did you hear they're not making yardsticks any longer? Hey.
All right, my number 5. This is a game that I have not played enough of. I feel like that there is a lot to offer in this game. It has everything. It's mechanisms. It's a little bit of worker placement. It's got a little bit of area control. It's got a little bit of deck building. It's got a whole lot of stuff. And when it's on the table, it looks like, I don't know.
It looks like hot trash.
It looks like hot trash. But it's a great game. It is really fun. I feel like with more and more plays, I'm going to like it more and more. But still, it's my number 5, even with the limited number of plays I had. This is a game designed by Stan Kordonsky, published by Fantasia Games. But it is Endless Winter. And I know this game has already got, Endless Winter Paleo Americans. And I know there's already a couple expansions that have came out for this game already. Haven't tried any of those, but there's just a lot of goodness in this box. I don't know, whatever your favorite game mechanism is, it's probably in here.
Yes.
Other than tracks, there's no tracks in here really.
I'm sure one of the expansions has them. I had that one expansion that has the dry erase boards. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm like, really? There's a dry erase board?
When you play this game, there's so much stuff going on. I know the one thing I thought of was like, you know what this needs? Dry erase boards.
Yes. It is a good game. Definitely a good one.
That's my number 5. Endless Winter.
Hey-o. My number 5 has already been listed. It's our first crossover.
Wow.
Oh,
that really says something about the quantity of great games this past year, because we play a lot together.
A lot, yeah.
Probably almost primarily play with you, which is kind of sad for me. But either way, for us to go halfway through the list before we have a crossover, that's pretty good.
Yeah. When you showed up, I figured that we were just going to go through the same 10 games and be like, yes, I like that one slightly more than you. Anywho, Libertalia, I'm back on the Stonemaier bandwagon. I don't know what happened. For whatever reason, I think it was around Red Rising-ish time that I just felt underwhelmed.
It was before that, because you were like on almost didn't even want to get Red Rising because of that.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm back on it. I love Tapestry and Viticulture. They're just such good games. I think it was that one bad game of Scythe that one of the players basically quit during the game and just kept bouncing back and forth between two locations on his board collecting income, and he didn't come in last place. And that right there, I was like, this game, because there was a time when Scythe was my favorite game, and then after that happened, it got to where I didn't like Scythe anymore. I was just like, don't want to play it.
That did make it feel, but I found it quite enjoyable.
Just because you were whatever the black color was, and you just was like combat based.
No, just when one person did better, someone better.
Yeah, you did worse than someone not playing.
Yes.
You trying was worse than not.
Sidebar: have you seen the new Scythe stuff coming out?
Yeah, it's like it almost looks like Suburbia, but Scythe.
Yeah,
something strange.
I'm super excited.
Expeditions or something?
Yeah,
it looks dope.
Yeah.
Libertalia. Man, like you said, great components. The pieces sound fantastic. It plays 6 players really well. It's so close to being a better gateway game than Trekking Through History, in my eyes. The only problem with this, though, is some of the cards are a little funky and weird to understand for players that are new to games.
I can see that. So you got the dawn actions, and then the dusk actions, and then the night actions, and But
as long as one person is very familiar with the game and can run it, shouldn't have too many issues. But I feel like it's that next level of gaming, which is kind of my personal sweet spot. I am a very middleweight kind of gal.
Kind of a heavy gal, honestly.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah.
Number 4.
All right, my number 4 is a Arcane Wonders game, Emerson Matsuuchi. Probably pretty easy to guess. I only need to give one clue, and that clue would be overproduced. This is the most overproduced game I've ever seen, ever, but it's really great. Foundations of Rome. This is city building, I guess you would call it.
In Deutsch Auction?
Yeah, an auction city building game, but it's really very simple. It's a much lighter game than you would anticipate in a box. It weighs 27 pounds. But the pieces are great. It looks great on the table as you're auctioning off grid squares on the board and then placing out your pieces. Wow, it's just, man, it's fun.
It is. It is a heck of a game. Like you said, overproduced, but kind of feel I wouldn't want it any other way.
If it were, and I know that I believe it was Emerson Matsuuchi that initially had, when he first designed this, it was pieces of paper, cut out pieces of paper that he used. I don't think it'd be any fun. Maybe it would, but those pieces are so great.
I think it's just a fantastic game to pull out, especially with new gamers, because it's not really that complex. It's about that Libertalia weight.
Yeah, it's very simple.
And to see that transformation at the beginning of the game, you pull out this thing, and then you see the eyes at the table just get super huge, and they're thinking this is going to be horrible. This is going to be, and then by the end of it, they're all standing around the table, looking, counting things, and then buying the one deed that you really wanted, and then you're mad at them, but it warms your heart at the same time because they know how to play and they are in competition to win.
Yeah. You pull this out, and they're going to think, I'm going to be here for 8 hours. This is going to be terrible, but it's so fun. And this isn't even the most produced version, which is crazy to me. But the trays, the game trays that come with it, the way they all fit in the box, it's just really, really good, really fun.
I assume everyone's seen that by now, but it has all these little trays that store all the player colors in there and all that jazz. So really, setup is quite easy. You just slide that out, give it to the blue player, and they're 90% ready to go.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at it. Look at it. My number 4 is a crossover on this list.
What is it?
It's a racing game.
What is
Definitely
it?
You've upset the dogs with your patterns.
I've ruined the entire shoot.
She's like half Chihuahua and half Chihuahua, 100% hateful. Anyways, My number 4 is Heat. Definitely favorite racing game ever of all time. It's good. I don't know what else to say about it. It's good. It's pretty. Vincent Dutray art. Pretty rad.
It's a hot one.
Number 3.
All right, my number 3. This is another Pegasus Spiel game from whom is probably my favorite designer. I know we said his name earlier, but I haven't found a game of his that he's done that I don't like. And this is another one. It is a...
Oh My Goods? You like Oh My Goods?
I do.
I like it.
I like it. You're trying to find a...
I'm trying to find one that you...
I don't like?
Yeah. Leave a comment down below on an Alexander Pfister game that might be okay.
Well, they're all better than
Isle of Skye?
You know what? I've not played Isle of Skye.
It sucks. No, actually, it's pretty good. It's like Carcassonne
See?
with bidding.
See?
But you set the prices. It's like if Carcassonne... Quiet. It's like if Carcassonne and Castles of the Mad King Ludwig had a baby.
Yeah. See? And this is a reskin, re-implementation. Again, not a Ticket to Ride 15th anniversary ripoff, but it is a redo, a reskin with mostly the exact same rule set with a couple very, very minor changes of Mombasa.
I think it was just one rule change, wasn't it? Where you can, in Mombasa, you have to put your card directly above.
There were two rule changes. That one, and then the way the coins come out, like per round, slightly different. But yes, Mombasa in space. Sky
Space
Mines.
Bassa.
Space Bassa.
Sky Bassa.
Alexander Pfister, he did it again in my opinion. I love the card play. It reminds me of Blackout Hong Kong a little bit, where you're setting up your, which cards you want to use and how you want to play them and how they come back to you. But I love the card play in this. It's got a little bit of almost area control. You're trying to invest in different sky mining corporations, and so obviously you want those specific corporations to be more prominent out on the board than the others. So your stock in those mines are more valuable than everybody else's. But it's just a lot of fun. I feel like there's good decisions to be made. But this is a lot of fun. It was tough. It's my top 3. It probably could go anywhere in my top 3, but it's a number 3. Sky Mines. Great game.
My number 3 is yet another crossover. So we're starting to hit the crossovers.
So the games that are crossover you like better than me.
Yes. Yep. Endless Winter. I don't know what else to say about this game other than it is a table hog. Like, we can't even play it on this table. We have to go to the kitchen table because it just takes up so much space. Even if I don't think I played it with only 2, but even with 3 players, it takes up a ridiculous number of space. That's how people talk.
Number of space.
It takes
that's
up
how
a
they.
number
That's
of
how they
space.
spoke when they lived in caves.
Yes.
And there was an endless winter happening.
Yep. I was trying to get into character.
Yes.
Did you know I do have like a Neanderthal face? My brows too protruding. Like, I couldn't even have normal LASIK surgery because they couldn't put the instrumentation on my eye.
I mean,
Very Cro-Magnon features.
I've often thought you looked a lot like Fred Flintstone, but I didn't want to say it. But if you're aware, then yeah, you look like a freaking caveman.
Number 2.
All right, my number 2 is a game that I knew that I would like as soon as I heard about it. Both of them are becoming one of my favorite. They're not Alexander Pfister yet, but they have not had any misses, and that is Shem Phillips and then S.J. McDonald, Garfield Games. I've loved everything they did for the most part. I haven't tried anything. I tried Raiders of the North Sea, loved it. Raiders of Scythia, loved it even more, I think. I haven't tried the 2 other ones in that trilogy, but the West Kingdom trilogy, I loved them all. New trilogy, Wayfarers of the South Tigris. I love everything about this game. It might end up being my favorite of theirs that they've done. I like the dice, how the dice actions work, how you can manipulate the dice and add them on different cards, and then you have workers you can put out, workers you can take back. I really can't remember what I want to say about this game, so I'm really just jacking it all up, but this is a great game.
It is a good game. It definitely takes more than one play to make an impression. My first play of it, I thought it was okay. Second one, I was like, that's a good game. Third, I was like, I like this. It's good.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things you kind of forget about or don't think about. Like, there's almost a set collection portion where you're trying to get different kinds of cards.
Which is the main way to get points.
At the end of the game,
I feel it's so contrived that you're
like, so focused.
How do I make this move?
Yeah, just mapping out the South Tigris, mapping the stars, mapping the lands.
Yeah, you're like cartographers or something.
Cartographers, yeah. So that's my number 2. Wayfarers of the South Tigers. I can't wait to see the next in the series. Which actually, there's already some early reviews coming out in that game.
Really?
Yeah.
And following the trend in these last couple, my number 2 is yet another crossover. It's my cat in the box.
Cat in the
Cat in the box, yeah.
First you get a box.
This game.
You cut a hole in the box.
You put your cat in the box. Man, I played this at Origins last year, and we were about halfway through the game, and they had one copy left. And I didn't buy it. And then I finished the game and went to buy it, and somebody bought the game between the middle of that game and when I finished it. So it took me a while to get this. I kept going, trying to buy it from their booth at Origins, and it was sold out every day. But man, this, like you said, it's a play on trick-taking games like Euchre, but you're on your own team. A little bit of bidding on how many tricks you think you can take. But probably the coolest thing, though, is that little board that the cards are colorless, and you can make them whatever color that you want when you play them. So as long as that card hasn't been used yet, and then you're trying to also match up. It's almost like an area control thing.
Yeah.
You get the longest trail on this board if you win, or if you get your number of tricks correct. But man, it's just a really good game. It is a fantastic game, and this is allegedly the deluxe version. I don't really see how they could come out with, not that it's bad, but I don't see how they could really come out with anything functional that is a lesser version.
No, I don't.
It would just kind of be like a disservice to
the board is 3-dimensional.
Yeah, it just keeps the pieces from moving around.
What else can you do?
It's actually dual purpose though, because you can slide cards in there to alter the board for different player counts, roughly.
Yeah. It's fun. I can't believe it's your number 2.
I just really like it.
Yeah.
It's a good game. Cat in the box.
Number 1.
All right, this is it. The number 1 is the best game of 2022, undeniably, because this guy, he peaked, and he's shocked.
I saw you put it on the table, and I'm like, I cannot believe that is your number 1.
This is my number 1. This is a
A
Keymaster game. It's a 2-player only game.
It's good.
It is elegant. It is, I don't know. It is really, really good. It has card drafting. You're a big fan of the card drafting, right?
Yeah, I am.
And this is typically 2 players. It has hate drafting in it. Typically 2 players and card drafting don't really go together, but this one does it so well.
With kind of area control.
There's some area control involved in it. It's just, I mean, it's just elegant. The gameplay is elegant. The cards are elegant. Even the insert is felt lined.
It is very nice.
It is very nice.
I think you just like this because you have beat me so badly every time we've played this game.
It's so fun. Like, I don't know. Just for a 2-player game, this one is the cat's meow.
It is.
But
it is very good.
Yeah, it's card drafting for 2 players. It's done really well. And there's a lot of different, a lot of replayability too, because there's different cities. The box comes with 4 different cities. You could easily put some expansions in there, but they add different locations to the game. Yeah, elegant. And you're sending out thieves to gather up. Yeah. You're sending out thieves to gather treasure at the different locations, and you have to kind of decide with the area control type aspect is you're going to get, there's 3 different areas per game. But over the course of the game, you're only going to get 6 thieves, and you can only put 3 of thieves per area. So do you spread them out 2, 2, 2? Do you put them 3 and 3 and just completely give up on one of the areas? So each round one round you're getting thieves, the next round you're getting equipment for your thieves. And it goes back and forth. It just does, man. It really hits out all the bases for me. I really, really like this game. I like the art.
Is it your favorite 2-player only game?
2-player, like it can only be 2 players,
Correct.
or it plays best of 2 players. I think it is. It's
More so than like Watergate or Seven Wonders Duel?
way more than Watergate, and I think more than Seven Wonders Duel.
Splendor Duel?
Yes.
I second that.
Yeah, I would. This is, I say Seven Wonders Duel is probably a close second to this one, but this one's just, I don't know. It's easier to set up. You don't have to worry about building a weird pyramid of cards. I like Seven Wonders Duel a lot.
Yeah.
I do, but I really enjoy this one.
It is a good one. It is a good one. Speaking of bizarre setups with pyramids of cards, we've been playing Truffle Shuffle lately. It's a good game, but that is bizarre. Just such a large pyramid of cards.
That is a tasty game.
It is.
Number 1, and this list is definitive. You can comment all you want down below, but the fact of the matter is this is the best game that came out in 2022.
I never in a million years would have guessed that I had this on my played list, and to be honest, it was one of the first ones that I crossed out.
Wow, not even honorable mention.
Not even honorable mention. It's good. I like it, but I just was Skymines released in 2022 or is it 2023?
BGG says 2022.
Does it? Okay. Because I was going to put Radis on here, but it says 2023.
Yeah, I didn't even look and see when Radis, because that's where, here we are again. Here we go.
Yeah. So, but as
Just
long
because
as
they put it in a bigger box doesn't mean it's a new game.
it's not the size of the box.
It is if it's French.
But
Caper Europe.
my number 1 is yet another crossover, and it is Foundations of Rome. Best game ever. This is not only my favorite game of 2022, it is also my number 1 game of all time.
Seriously.
It is. I enjoy this game a lot. Which is funny because I bought it because I fell in love with it about halfway through my first play at Origins. And it was a matter of which version do I get? How much money can I spend before I get in trouble with the wife? But then I thought, she's going to like it because it's like if Bunny Kingdom didn't have this overly bizarre scoring. And she loves that. So I was like, I'm going to get in trouble if I go home and don't have metal coins in this gigantic box. But ever since then, I had kept the original box thinking maybe I'm going to sell it, maybe I'm not going to like it as much, but I will never get rid of this game. I've even started painting some of them, like painting little bushes green and stuff like that. It's just, I cannot say enough good things
Should've
about
just went
it.
with the sun drop then, or whatever
I thought about
wash.
that. I kind of wish I did, but I started painting the pieces that would color, not just a wash. Yeah, and man, it's just, in my opinion, it's perfect in every way.
Number 1 game of all time.
I'll never get rid of it.
It's such
Anyone ever wants to play it, I'll play it.
You're right. That middleweight type games.
Yep. Simpleton. As soon as I started playing that,
it was worth the 40-pound box.
Yeah, and something about this game, the Dutch auction thing, it seems like someone is always making someone else mildly perturbed at the table. And it's just this like kind of fun, agitated energy around the table every time I play this. And it's I think it's perfect.
D1? Seriously? You didn't even need D1?
You don't even need D1. You're like, oh, it was $2. And then you're like, well, you shouldn't have waited. Shouldn't have waited. But I only had $3 and it was $6. Well, yeah, just can't say enough good things about it. Number 1, Foundations of Rome.
Wow, number 1 of all time.
Yep.
I mean, I can't argue it is a great game. I do like it very, very much. Number 1 of all time. Whew, that's a hot take.
It is, hot take.
Hot take.
So yeah, thank you, Michael, for joining us. Next year we should try to get this video out a little earlier, probably before March.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. Thank you for having me. It's been way too long. Matter of fact, I don't think we did a video since
Probably
the
not.
last top 10 video. I think, maybe. I don't know.
So leave a comment down below on what top 10 videos we should butcher next.
Yes, please. You can also comment if you just would rather me never come back. I would understand.
Do you have any honorable mentions?
If I had an honorable mention, it would probably be Splendor Duel.
Yes, a very fine game.
And that one would be an honorable mention for a couple reasons. One, it was really good. It was a lot of fun. I liked it. I don't know if I like it more than Splendor. Maybe I do, but I forgot it. I forgot about it.
It was so good.
It was so good that I
forgot about it.
I completely forgot about it, and so it wasn't even in my... It didn't even have a chance.
Yeah.
So I felt like it should get an honorable mention just because I didn't even give it a chance.
I kind of second that. I will say, though, that it was my go-to two-player game for like a couple days after I bought it, and then I picked up Mystic Veil. And that is just probably one of my favorite two-player games. It's so fast and just down and dirty.
I really have enjoyed Mystic Veil. I like it a lot, but I wonder if it's going to kind of go the way of Dominion. I felt Dominion was my kind of go-to. I enjoyed two-player Dominion, and then now I haven't played Dominion in a long time.
You got any more honorable mentions?
Nope.
I have several. One of them I was going to put, but last year you gave me a bunch of crap for putting Ticket to Ride, the 15th anniversary Euro version.
Because it wasn't a 2021 game.
So Port Royale Big Box was
going
to be
a 2022 game.
The Big Box was released in 2022. Anywho, that First Empires, which you felt was broken, but I had a lot of fun with that game. A lot of dice chucking.
That's an honorable mention for you, First Empires?
And Ori Chalcum, whatever, Oreos.
Oreo
Bruno
cookie?
Catala.
I've not played it.
It's cool.
It looks good.
Cool.
And Bruno Catala is probably my second favorite designer.
It might be my...
Maybe third.
Pfister
Second or
your
third
favorite?
for sure. What?
Alexander Pfister, your favorite?
Yeah, Pfister is definitely my favorite.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rolling with the Beard. If you found this episode informative or entertaining at all, please consider subscribing and leave a comment down below. Thanks again for watching.
Ayo, you.